Hello and welcome to A Dogs Breakfast, Seattle edition. I'm your host, Big Deno, and together with my very good friend James Morehouse, we're going to be travelling to Seattle to compete in the Iron Gauntlet Finals held at Lock and Load. It's very exciting for us. That's my cat Peaches in the background. Hi Peach. It's very exciting for us to be able to go overseas and represent Australia. In particular, James and I have been friends for quite a few years now, and for us to be able to go over together and both compete in the same tournament is really exciting. We're both looking forward to the challenge. Look, I think we're probably going to go in as underdogs, which is the traditional Australian way of competing, and I think we're probably a pretty good chance. I don't know, we've never really competed in that sort of environment before, but we have competed in the European meta and done very well, so look, we're gonna do our best and hopefully bring something back for Australia anyway. So this video diary is going to chronicle our experiences over the next few months, which is leading into Lock and Load. We're going to have a bit of a chat about our army selections, some of the meta choices we're making, and what the basic plan we're going in with is. And then it'll also show some battle reports and hopefully a bit of fun stuff along the way as well. So tonight on this episode of The Dogs Breakfast, our first battle report, I'm heading over to my good friend Potsy, David Potts' house, better known as the Smiling Assassin or Del Rogue on the forums, and we're going to have an Iron Gauntlet preparation game. So we're both bringing two lists from different factions, and we're going to sit down and have a crack. So wish me luck. I'll boot up the camera when I get there, and we'll get a bit of footage for you. So I'm on my way to Potsy's house now, where we have a regular Tuesday night tradition where I head over there and he cooks up a massive spread of food, and we just carve up, have some ciders, play a few games, shoot the shit. It's good fun. He's a very good friend of mine, Potsy, and I really enjoy heading over there on a Tuesday. Look, we don't always play it at the very maximum of our potential. We tend to focus more on having a good time, and that's okay. I think you don't always have to play for sheep stations. So look, I'm looking forward to tonight. It's going to be the first real Iron Gauntlet preparation I've had. I've done a lot of theory so far, but this is the first time I've actually got it out on the table and given it a red hot go. So I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully Potsy brings something a little bit challenging. I don't actually know what he's bringing tonight. It could be anything. So it's perfect preparation for Iron Gauntlet, because as you would know, I have no idea about the meta over there. I have no idea about what these guys are going to be bringing on the table, and it's just hopefully going in with as much preparation as possible and having all the theory ready, and then actually putting that theory out on the table. So I'll see you soon. Potsy, welcome. So here we are playing close quarters is the scenario. We've got Striker 3, which is being represented by the bottom half of Jeremiah Cray and the top half of some Lego Man. Over here we've got Stormlancers, also Lego Mans. In the middle we've got another unit of Stormlancers, perhaps some Lego Mans and Stormlancers. Lattimore is this lovely girl Lego Man. Tempest Blazers are actually what you see, and then that is the Stormblade Captain, which is actually what you see, and the Jacks are irrelevant because I'm going to kill them. So on this glorious side of the table, the forces of the Butcher, the forces of Khador. So it's Butcher 3. We've only got 2 Jacks in this list, the Dracoon. These Gatormen are posing for Boom Howlers at this juncture, while I decide if I'm actually going to put them in, and I've got Kel Baylock and Iris over there. So, as I said, close quarters. This should be interesting. We'll see. Woo! Yours. Turn one over, and Potsy has definitely taken superior board position, but he's got to get through a wave of Boom Howlers before he can get to my juicy stuff. So expect.
Or do I just not go through the Boom Howlers and they become just as much of a problem for you as they do for me?
Interesting thoughts, David. I'd be quite happy for you to do that, though. Thank you.
Done.
This is the face of a man who is very much enjoying Striker 3. I've lost both my heavies. I've lost Boom Howler and 4 other boomies. I lost the War Doge. I lost Kel Baylock, and it's looking great. So we're having very good fun. But it's time for the big man to come out and play. So what a devastating counterattack from the big man.
Apparently Butcher can butch.
What a devastating counterattack.
Nobody Butcher.
So, killed 2 jacks, killed probably 12 models, no biggie. But I think Putsy might have an assassination on the cards, so
Crack.
we'll see what happens. I think there wasn't a lot of options I had left. I had to go in hard or I was just going to run out of models, so good luck, Putsy, on your assassination run. Striker came in and was gloriously short.
Just needed 8 on 3 dice. 8 on 3 dice.
Putsy is not a happy man. Let's be honest, he rolled a 16 on his charge attack for damage, so probably a little bit dubious.
Average is out.
Average is out, he reckons. Yeah, okay. That was good. Alright, so that's the end table state. I've now got 6 Fury on Butcher to try and kill Striker. I think that should happen pretty easy. I better roll that, actually. I better roll that. I'm going to roll that now, Putsy. Alright, so the game's over. Post-match interview with David Potsy Potts. Got smashed, Potts. How do you feel?
Pretty good, new faction, you know, new list.
got
First time I
smashed.
played Signal before, so it's actually pretty good. I didn't mind Striker.
I reckon Striker 3 is awesome.
He's no Butcher. He's no 3 Butcher.
Mate,
He's no 3 Butcher.
every single cavalry model in your list automatically hits.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
He's got Fury.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He did a lot of damage, but
He doesn't have a lot of staying power.
Yeah, I think because I'm playing tier, Storm, Horseman or whatever, I think I probably don't need the second unit Cav.
But what would you put in?
I'd probably drop the Stormclad,
Get rid of
and the
Lattimore
second
too.
unit Cav, and put in Stormwall.
Yeah, okay.
Stormwall Junior.
Yeah, for Arcane Shield. See, Arcane Shield on the Lancers makes them a lot more durable. I don't think you need Lattimore either.
Yeah, Lattimore helps them shooting, but if you've only got 1 unit, Lattimore's pretty useless. So I'd probably take out Stormclad, put Stormwall in. Second unit Stormlance is gone. Junior in, because then Striker himself can go to 17, 20 base.
Becomes a little bit more
Becomes a
kill.
bit harder.
Yeah, and he can play a bit harder. Anyway,
Can't take out 3 Butcher though.
well, 3 Butcher's pretty good. So, Iron Gauntlet preparations for Big Deno at the moment consist of one list which will remain nameless for the time being. That'll only be revealed for donators to the Deno and Horse cause. But
It's a massive secret.
it's a huge secret. But the second list is currently going to be some Khador list, either Butcher 3, maybe Vlad 2, maybe Vlad 3. I can't make up my mind. What do you think?
So why do you want to play Khador as your second list?
I like Khador. They're fun faction.
You have access to Circle
Yep.
and Khador. Do you
Yep.
think you could make a better Circle list than you could a Khador list?
Well, I have access to Scorn and Crix and probably Legion as well.
Yeah, I'm talking about serious factions, not Scorn. Scorn.
Mate, Fist of Halak, it's a monstrous list.
It's alright. It's got a couple of good matchups.
This guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I personally, and this just might be my thing, 3 Butcher is everywhere.
Yep,
And
agreed.
3 Butcher in 2014 is something everybody is planning for.
Yeah, look, he's obviously going to be heavily teched against. But I think that, I'm guessing, which is just a theory, that when we go overseas, the meta over there is going to be heavily biased towards the traditional Butcher 3 list that Will Pagani popularised and has the 2 units of Black Dragons and that. And my list is going to be a fair bit different to that, perhaps.
Is this the one popularised by Jamie P?
Yeah, the Jamie P list. The heavy Butcher list. Heavy Jack.
I think, you know what, Butcher 3 is one of those massive assassination characters. Doesn't matter what's in his list, it's all about Butcher 3.
Yep.
And effectively, what people are shutting down is not 2 units of Black Dragons, it's not 2 heavy jacks, it's Butcher 3. So if they have a list that shuts down his ability to run out Eliminator and Thresher and what do you call it?
Yep.
Flushing Blade,
Yep.
that's what shuts down the list. Doesn't matter what else is in the list,
But
that's
the-
what fucks over 3 Butcher.
There's not that many things that can prevent that. I mean, you go through the list: Chromat with Bestial, Orin Midwinter, the book, the Covenant
so
of Mouth.
everybody who can take Iron Midwinter. Because it's specialist,
Right.
I guarantee you,
Sure, they're gonna have
99% of the time, Iron
Yep.
Midwinter will be the specialist.
But I mean, Orin is a 12-inch bubble, and there's sometimes ways to kill Orin, and it becomes a game within a game of, can you protect Orin well enough, or can I kill Orin to allow Butcher to come out?
Would you even risk playing Butcher okay, skill of the players being equal.
Yep.
And see, Oren's only got a 12-inch bubble, but he doesn't need to be where Butcher is now. He needs to be where Butcher wants to end up,
for sure,
and wants to eliminate him.
Yeah, so you can keep Oren right back about 8 inches behind your caster, and you're not going to be able to energise your caster forward. Sorry, impending doom your caster forward, which is good. But
so is it worth playing 3 Butcher?
But I'm not necessarily using Butcher to kill enemy casters. I'm using him to attrition out and get on top in the attrition game.
But the attrition also is affected by Oren.
Who would you play?
I would take a Cardo list that you're confident with. That's not 3 Butcher. That's not Butcher, and I think I've said this to you before. It's one of those lists where you end up putting yourself in a situation like today's game where you have to go all out. It's an all or nothing play. Like if you failed to kill either of those 2 jacks or all of those cav, like if you missed a couple of those flashing blades, like you ended your feat turn on 1 focus.
Yep.
So one thing had gone wrong and you stuffed that up, or that hadn't gone off for you, you've left Butcher in the position where he can be killed. And even in that game, like Striker only needed an 8 on 3 dice to end the game.
He did.
So that's to me that's coin flip territory. The question is, do you want to play a caster which is a coin flip caster that has a coin flip place?
What I'm finding is that the only time I lose games with Butcher is when I've smashed the entire army to shreds and people are forced to go in with it all chips in assassination.
But that's
and
the thing.
It comes off. It comes off. That's
because you're having to attrition their army with Butcher.
Yep.
He's
and
an
I'm giving them that
He's
chance.
a Malay assassination.
Let's be honest. There's not many lists that'll be able to just demolish 2 heavy jacks like you did at the blink of an eye.
Really? I mean, you know, any Hordes list that has decent heavies.
But they're not going to get all the heavies in. Like you out-threaded my heavies, which is, you know, not something that traditional Hordes lists are going to out-thread me.
But again, you don't have a mechanic.
I do have a mechanic in my specialists.
We didn't put it in this list.
Well, I didn't think I needed to because I knew that if I was going to get killed with my 2 heavies.
What would you have taken out to put the mechanic in?
It didn't matter. My heavies were not going to survive that turn.
Well, that brings up the question, when do you think you're going to play that game where you think Armor Heavy is going to survive, or are they not going to survive? Because I can tell you now, Cardo Heavies are tough, but everybody takes stuff to crack Cardo.
Of course.
Well, can crack Cardo
Take heavies, yeah. Look, I think that if I was to play that game again, I'd probably run my heavies behind at the wall of boom howlers, and I'd force you to go through the boom howlers with your guys. And obviously you've got the captain, so you can go through the layers with your martial discipline. But if you didn't get all of the cav in, I would have survived with some of my jacks.
Yeah. Very true.
So I would play that game differently, but it was good.
Boom howl experiment?
Not sure.
Can you see what I was saying? It does fuck you over.
That was my problem with them last time. I tried them before and I'm just not sold. But
in this game, I don't think we talked about it. The boom howlers failed command, fled, and then when he tried to move them all out of the way,
they all passed tough, so they were just stuck there.
Every single one passed tough and fucked up his...
Didn't roll a 4+ tough on the first, and when they got 4+, but 5+ toughs taking free strikes, just galore. Yeah. I don't know. But what do you put in instead?
Second unit of
Black Tracks.
It works.
Yeah, it does. It does. Alright, well...
if it's not 3 Butcher, I think your Epic Vlad is an awesome list.
Yeah, the Epic Vlad's good. And the primary list that I'm taking, I think the Epic Vlad list pairs quite well, but I've got some issues with a couple of factions that I want to try and cover over, and I don't know if Epic Vlad does the job enough compared to Butcher.
Is this ones that your primary list can't handle?
Yes.
Because the list that your primary list can't handle is pretty small.
It isn't significant, no. Hey Charlie, this is Potsy's. Say g'day, Charlie. Say hello, mate. What have you been doing tonight? Playing Minecraft? Yeah. Are you killing it?
He's killing my house, destroying my house.
Hey, what are you doing to his
Chopping
house?
holes in my roof.
Did you cut a hole? Ah, the little man. What a legend. All right, so
without naming that first list, what do you think some of the vulnerabilities are?
I won't go into it because it'll probably open the. It'll reveal what I'm taking. I'm going to edit this out and spit it out, so...
No, you don't have to do so. You can talk, because editing shit takes a lot of time and effort. I don't think you're going to go for it. You can easily say that your first list, the weakness is strong infantry removal.
Yes,
And-
that's one of its weaknesses,
and
yes.
things that can shut down charges or control feats.
Correct. That would be an accurate statement.
Now, I still think either of the two Vlads, P or E, not three Vlad, but the P or E, are still
P-Vlad
a
is
very strong
definitely
counter.
P-Vlad is definitely a strong candidate, and would be a very different style of list to what my initial one is. But I need to sit down and just have another think about P-Vlad, because I haven't actually played him enough.
I personally, I know you've been playing a lot of E-Vlad. E-Vlad, to me, has a very similar style
To the primary list.
to the primary list, but also it's an assassination list.
Yep.
And it's one of those ones, like your primary list, if they're able to attrition it, alpha attrition it
It's
to that
gone.
tipping point,
Yeah.
you haven't got enough.
Yeah, and that's what I've been finding in my games. I mean, I've killed a lot of dudes, but I don't know how many times I'm going to get that opportunity to kill people when, you know, you're playing at a top level. You just don't get those options. You don't get that opportunity, so
I mean, it's hard to avoid.
it
It's the
is.
same as a 3 Butcher assassination. Very hard to avoid. Epic Vlad's Super Cav or...
Oh, I mean,
Those
all
are
arms that go
jigs.
16 inches or eliminators that go 13.5 with a potential sidestep to get into a caster, mate, they'll kill a lot of shit. They'll kill a lot of casters, but I haven't got a lot of staying power and I haven't got a lot of stuff that blocks those guys up, so they basically bear the brunt of whatever the enemy is attacking with, and then...
And I think they're also quite vulnerable to control casters. Things like...
Which is exactly the same problem I've got with the primary list.
Harbinger, Epic Haley,
Yep.
Epic Denny.
So I probably need to look at, as you said, P-Vlad and maybe a shooting style of list, or just something that's a bit different that's going to give me some options.
P-Vlad, I quite liked your P-Vlad with Outriders.
Yeah,
And
P-Vlad
Winter Guard.
Outriders, the Winter Guard, and then
Conquest.
also Conquest.
Conquest to me is one of those... Well, it depends whether or not there may or may not be a Colossal in your primary list. But any list where you have a Colossal in one of your two options, that dictates to me what list I'll be playing.
Sure.
Because I might be slightly different, but the way I play my primary faction, which is Scorn, I kind of lean towards an anti-infantry.
Yep.
Because Scorn can sometimes suffer with that infantry, particularly high-def infantry removal. So I've got a list dedicated to infantry removal, and I've got a generalist / armor cracker. Now, if you have the possibility of putting down a Colossal on the
Yep.
table, it dictates to me what list I can take.
It
And
does.
the best of both worlds with the Colossal is when you can pair it with
High def infantry.
high def infantry and a Colossal.
Yeah.
Because that causes massive headaches for most
I
people.
think that the P-Vlad list that I used previously, which had Behemoth and Spriggan, has that same sort of durability as a Colossal. It's got some weaknesses, specifically Disruption, which a Colossal doesn't have, and obviously they can be push and pull. But I think Behemoth and Spriggan add a little bit more to the style of list that I'd be playing with P-Vlad, which would be, as you said, Outriders and Winter Guard. I mean, I had Rifle Corps, which was the last one, and
Yeah.
they were awesome. But, well, I mean, with the Spriggan, they can drop down stealth flares and then they shoot from 40 inches and pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, I don't know. To me, I fear two heavies less than I do one Colossal. Because for those very reasons you said, that you can't
push and pull.
can't push pull, can't telekinesis, can't slam, can't throw it out, can't Plus with a heavy, you can take one out, and unless you've got the two heavies in base to base and they've both got the exact same threat range,
Yep.
if you take one out, you can sometimes leave yourself in a position where they can't retaliate with the second
Yeah.
heavy. Whereas with a Colossal, it's all or nothing.
Yep.
Particularly when you're playing it with mechanics.
P-Vlad's Colossal
horrific.
is also fast too with the feed turn. He goes up to speed 8, so he can charge 11, threat 13, which is pretty awesome for a Colossal. So
And even beyond that, the threat of a crit
devastation
crit
can
devastation.
be a game ender, but only if you've got models that can follow up and make
No,
it happen.
but it doesn't matter if you do or not. It's one of these things there, in every play that you do as an opponent playing against a crit devastation under signs and
They've got to
importance,
think about it.
you've got to think every single time what happens if he gets a crit devastation and all this stuff's removed, and suddenly I've got boosted attack roll, Winter Guard, killing my knockdown caster or whatever it might be. That is a massive mental power.
But there's a lot of things like that in the game, like Butcher 3, you've got to stay outside of 15 inches or you're dead. That sort of thing,
Or you take a 2-point solo on your specialist and
Orin
semi-shut him down.
This guy loves Orin Midwinter.
Well, Orin Minter,
Takes him in
Covenant.
Scorn. Yeah, look, there's Bestial, there's a Covenant, there's Orin Midwinter, there's Druids. There's not
Not
much
bad.
else. No, there's not. There's not that much anti-spell
A
stuff.
Haley that can negate a spell with a focus.
That doesn't stop Energizer or Impending Doom.
stop her episode from doing.
Okay, I'll just buy a tax on Haley.
Bad example. There are other things I think that shut it down.
There's not.
It's got to be.
There's not.
Oh, this is bad TV, isn't it?
This is great television. There might be one.
I'm sure this will go up online, and everybody else that can think of thousands of other things.
P7's feet, I think, is no spells, or it might be can't spend focus. So that's probably one. Morgul's feet, P Morgul.
Morgul's feet can't spend focus.
So there's another one.
Doomy, whenever you spend a focus point, you take D6 damage.
Yeah, mate, I'd do it against Doomy.
Really?
No, you're serious, right? Cause
if Doomy, but what about if it's
So if
Morgul?
Doomy's within 14 inches of you, right, you charge, assume you've already got Silence of Death on yourself, because when you're playing Trials, you do that.
Or would you?
Absolutely.
You would have Silence of Death on the Python.
No, mate, you have it on Butcher.
No, you have
and then
it on
you can
Python.
bring Doomy in and just fucking kill him in one hit. I'd take
What about
46 damage. Mulg's a problem.
You'd take 66 damage killing Mulg.
Oh, mate, I wouldn't even come close to kill. I'd run away from Mulg. I'd kill him with Pikeman. Or Beast 09.
Or P-Vlad, chilling to death.
P-Vlad. Alright, so I'm going to take from this little conversation that Potsy doesn't want me to play Butcher 3. I'm going to put it out there to you people. Who should I take? To pair with my primary list that you don't know who it is.
That's going to make it hard. Put it this way, do you want to take the list everybody is expecting to see? Or do you want to take the list that A, they haven't seen for a while, B, haven't played against for a while? Because everybody will be playing against 3 Butcher.
But this is the argument that I have for you. If you go into a tournament of this level, everyone is prepared for everything. Like, you're not going to throw someone. You're not going to throw someone a curveball. You're not going to drop fucking some guy on the table. You're not going to drop Cassius on the table or what's some other dickhead, Morton Ebra, and go and your opponent goes, well, what do they do? I've never played them. That's just not going to happen.
But it's not just not.
So then
it's not what do they do. They might know what they do, but not having played against it for a while gives you an advantage. Because you don't know all of the threat range, all of the cool little shenanigans they can do. But even beyond that, the fact that they won't be teching their list against a shooty P-Vlad.
But if those lists that we're talking about don't need to be teched against because they don't bring anything spectacularly different, then you're then going into a straight power level conversation. And if you've got a caster that is an A plus level versus a caster that is a B plus level, I know who I'd want to be taking.
I don't. I think 3 Butcher's really good.
Yep. You don't think he's an A plus?
I think he's no. I think
the question.
Okay, this is easy. He is an A plus, 100% for sure. However, he has ways that can hard shut him down.
Agreed. I guess
people will be taking those ways.
I guess the question is if people are taking those ways, does my other list answer those ways? I can tell you for a fact that it does. So I'm pretty fine if I come up against basically the only. No, I'm not going to say, but I think I'm alright. I think Butcher answers the other lists that I'm struggling with best.
Okay.
But I think 3 Vlad or P Vlad could as well.
So for your audience, you don't know what the other list is. You don't know what these matchups are. But take it as confident that Deno is 100% confident every bad matchup.
Super confident
that 3 Butcher has.
The other one handles it.
So yeah,
solid.
Is it even a debate?
Solid, mate. Locked in.
3 Butcher. All right, that's it. Done.
All right. Well, thank you for the game and for the conversation, David. I'm sure you'll be a regular guest host on A Doge's Breakfast, Seattle edition.
Indeed. Since we play every Tuesday.
We play every Tuesday, and it's bloody great. So, all right. That'll do. See you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
See ya.